Hey guys, today I thought I would share with you my setup for my 2020 October daily album. I can't believe it's almost October. I actually put this together real fast last night so that I could get this up in time for the start of October. If you have followed me through my October daily journeys the last 2 years, you would know that I don't do a lot of setup in advance because I tend to sort of be inspired by whatever the photos that I take are. Or if I don't have a photo, I just have like a prompt to go off of. I don't want to set up too much in advance and then not be happy with what it looks like. So I typically just do like the cover and maybe a couple of inserts and things like that, which is all I've done here. I'm working this year in a 6x8 Project Life album. It was actually a wedding album that I found at Dollarama for $4. It didn't come with any of the pocket pages, so I grabbed a couple of pocket page packages, that's a lot of P's, on Amazon a few weeks or months ago. This is the front. It's a white album. I couldn't get those gold things off. They're glued down pretty tight. I kind of hoped I could like pull them off so that the cover, the paper that I use on the cover could go right under them, but I lined it up pretty well as far as getting it right into the corners there, and I actually kind of like the white with it, since there is some white in this paper pad as well. I'm using the Pinkaboo paper pad, I didn't mention that. This was part of a 12x12 sheet, one of those where it's more than just a pattern, like there's that big circle there for a photo or journaling or whatever. So I just cut the most ornate parts off. I'm not quite finished embellishing it. I still like to do something else with it. I did write October Daily at the top there with some of these stickers from the romantic Halloween sticker book. So things are a little tight in my photo box that is also doubling as a filming box. When I actually have stuff in here like photos and whatnot, I'll shift things around so that, you know, this side's leaning when I'm looking at this page, but this side will be leaning when I'm looking at this page, you know what I mean? But for now, just to show you how I've set up the album, you can see here that I've used more of the paper on the inside. And I think it worked out really nicely for the inside because there's a lot of white in it and the binder is white, so I really like how that turned out. And then I actually thought to put a calendar in my October daily this year. I'm going to write down like the few things that I have planned for the month on here so that, you know, I have it marked down as stuff I want to document. All I did was take a calendar template that was already in Word. I changed the colors and the fonts and so on, and the sizing. I had to print it A5 size so it would fit on this page. And there was a stock photo of a little girl in the template, and all I did was go online and I found a copy of the picture from Michael's website when they had the 12x12 Pinkaboo paper pad, and they had a photo of like a bunch of the pages scattered about. I just took that photo and put it in place of the photo that was in the template. And what I've done with these pages is this book came with a bunch of paper, like all like pre-made scrapbook stuff. So it was like, put a 4x4 photo here, put a 4x6 photo here. It was a wedding theme, so it's like, you know, write about the day you met, the day you got engaged, etc. And a lot of them were like pink, white, gray, and blue for the most part. So what I've done is the ones that have a pink side, because a lot of them had like pink on one side and then gray on the other or something. I took two of the pink-sided ones and glued the not pink sides together because I thought it was cardstock when I got the album. It's not. It's like a thicker paper, but it's still paper. So I glued the two together, A, to cover the non-pink sides, but then also to give it a little more stability. And then in this case, I just used scraps from my covers to cover up the printing on the original pages, and then just pasted the calendar on top. I printed the calendar out on cardstock. I'm going to embellish this a bit more. I would like to embellish it probably with some of the romantic Halloween washi from Michael's, which I am still waiting for because I placed a second Michael's order. And they decided to send it to me in 4 parts. And like, none of it was big with the exception of a 12x12 paper pad. Everything else was small. And the box they sent me the 12x12 paper pad in, which they sent by itself, probably could have held everything else that I ordered at the same time. So they have now sent me everything except this one pack of washi. I will probably use that to embellish this a bit. This will get more embellished most likely as time goes on. And then, as I have done in previous years, I printed out a couple of prompts for the month because even when we weren't in COVID-19, I didn't really leave the house much, especially once it gets cold, so I already had not that much to do in a month. I have even less now, obviously, so I'm gonna need some prompts to fill some days. So I grabbed some new ones this year, and I didn't print out every single prompt I've ever seen in my life like I have in previous years. I just picked 3. The top one here, someone posted in the October Daily Facebook group. I think it's one they made for themselves, and all I did was put a pink overlay over it because it was an orange graphic. I just threw a pink overlay on it in Photoshop. The Creatober prompt, I didn't put an overlay on because it's already purple, but It's by an artist whose Instagram is e.moreart. It's like a prompt list for just creating art of whatever type in general. And then the other page here, I put in this Artober prompt for this year. Again, just threw a pink overlay over it. And then in the bottom here, I just printed out this meme, again with a pink overlay on it. It just says, "Where did all your money go?" And then it's Will Smith pointing at a wall of Halloween stuff. And then what I did with these pages, again, those are some of the pink pages taped together. Because there was printing on them, what I did was I just covered up the printing with 2 of these 6x6 cut aparts from the 12x12 paper pad, and then pasted the prompts and whatnot over top of them. And then I embellished with some of these stickers from the Romantic Halloween sticker book. And I actually used some washi tape. My God. I mentioned earlier that when I was pulling out all my Halloween stuff this year, I forgot to pull out any washi tape, but I still had some pink washi tape pulled out from a paper pad that I was going to work with this summer, and then with the COVID-19 depression and whatnot, it didn't happen, but I never got around to putting that washi away, so it's still out, and thankfully some of it matches with this paper pad, so I was able to actually use some washi this year. And then this is the back of the other prompt page. Again, I just used a 6x6 cut apart, just like a decorative item. Use some more washi. This page is definitely not finished because I want to use some of the Romantic Halloween washi. I like layer it over the thick washi that I have there. So that's definitely not finished yet, but I do like how it looks thus far. And then pretty much all I did aside from that was I cut out all of the cut aparts, just one from each sheet. There's like 3 sheets, I think. The 6x6 sheets, and then like a couple of multi-size ones. So there's 2 pages of each. I just cut them out from 1 of each for now, and I had a couple of scraps from the covers that I was able to cut down into 3x4. So I just put them in the pocket pages to have them here. It's not really any kind of order. It's just, you know, I just cut everything out to have them ready to go, and I will move things around as needed. I have some pocket pages that have 2 3x4 and a 4x6 slot, and then some that are just 2 4x6 slots. And yeah, that's all I did there. That's a 4x6er. And then I just have the rest of the empty pages there. And then behind the empty pocket pages, I have the pages that came with the album. And not all of them. I did pull out the ones that didn't have any like pink or white or gray in them. But everything else is pages that I could potentially use if I want to do a full page layout again. And then it also came with some dividers as well, and I just kept them in here. I don't know if I'll use them or not, but it was good to just hold on to them for now. And here's what I mean about, you know, having to cover up writing and things like that. So again, I just used the same pumpkin paper on the inside of the back cover. And then I just put some of this pink pinstripe paper on the back and on the spine. And that's it for my October daily prep thus far. Again, my plan, like last year, is to hopefully do like a weekly wrap-up. It'll depend on how long it takes me to put things together. Hopefully it won't take as long this year, since I am relying primarily on the pocket pages. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please give it a share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and click that little bell in the corner to be notified when I next upload a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.